This is a wired shower design. The handle is longer than ideal and would have worked better at around half its current length. I attempted to shorten it using my floral scissors, but without wire cutters, it took a long time to remove even a small section, so I had to accept the length. The ribbon banding is neat and tightly wrapped, fully covering the handle and smoothing out the end. A red wire-edged ribbon was used, which helped create a tight banding as the wires hold the ribbon in place better than others, such as silk, where it will not have, and also matched the orange tones in the design through an analogous color scheme. The wire edge made the ribbon easier to control and secure. The ribbon not only concealed the wire mechanics in the handle but also introduced an achromatic color into the design, adding a darker tone that complements the natural shading of the flowers. This helps with visual balance, as the handle becomes part of the design rather than drawing attention away from the flowers. If a white ribbon had been used instead, the handle would have stood out too much. The ribbon also smoothed over sharp wire ends left from cutting the handle, which is important for both safety and comfort, as the bride should not risk being hurt by exposed wires. This removed both the visual and actual sharpness at the base. The ribbon was finished using 3 pearl pins arranged in a triangular formation. This added a decorative detail, although it wasn't strictly necessary. The pins were still useful to secure the ribbon and prevent it from unraveling. All wired mechanics are hidden by layering plant material over them, so none of the wiring is visible. The design has a good balance of positive and negative space. The orange spray roses and hypericum were wired in small bundles, which naturally spaced them apart rather than keeping them compact. The airiness of the chasmanthium also helped introduce negative space. This is important because it makes the design look larger while using fewer materials, which is more commercially effective as customers often prefer larger bouquets. I naturally lean towards compact designs, so pushing myself to create more open work helps develop my skills and gives customers more choice. While this design is still slightly compact, it shows clear improvement compared to the past ones, where both binding point and compactness were too strong and high. The pink and orange flowers follow an analogous color scheme, with pink being a tint of red. The color transition was graduated using rose gold chasmanthium and peach spray roses, which softened the change and prevented it from feeling visually harsh. The thin stems and loose seed heads of the chasmanthium also add movement, as they respond easily to air and motion. Green hypericum and eucalyptus parvifolia were added as neutral tones. Because all the materials were wired, I was able to distribute them evenly across the design, unlike natural stem showers where placement and length are more restricted. This helped maintain balance and control the overall shape. The wired materials allowed a strong teardrop form to be created, with a slight bend at the tip to introduce rhythm and movement. As this is an asymmetrical design, it does not have actual balance, as it is intended to flow downward. Visual balance was achieved by spreading the achromatic colors, materials, and forms evenly throughout the design. The spiky form of the cymbidium orchid contrasts with the round roses and hypericum, while the smooth, glossy texture of the hypericum contrasts with the rougher textures of the limonium and chasmanthium. The mix of these dark and light tones also added a tonal contrast, which helps bring more rhythm into the design and makes the piece feel more dynamic. Visual balance could be improved further by adding another peach spray rose lower on the left to complete the focal rhythm. The secondary line created by the darker pink cymbidium orchids would also benefit from being extended in the same way. The design includes a return end, with flowers coming back into the handle, which helps finish the form neatly. Although the bouquet is slightly heavier due to the amount of wiring, it is not too heavy for the bride and would not be tiring to hold. This design worked better than my previous ones because I used a larger focal flower. The peach roses create a stronger and more noticeable focal line, while the smaller, darker cymbidium orchids act as a secondary line that recedes slightly, helping push the main focal forward. All mechanics are secure and remain in place when the design is moved. Most of the wiring was done using a double leg mount, which offers more security than a single leg mount. Where additional length was needed, extension wires of the same gauge were added and parafilmed together to maintain strength without drooping. Heavier flowers, such as the peach roses and cymbidium orchids, required extra support. These were wired using a cross method, where one wire is inserted up the stem until resistance is met, and a second wire of the same weight is inserted horizontally and folded down. This was then parafilmed to ensure stability and strength.